Hello everyone, welcome to Kenilworth Road, where penultimate pre-season friendly of this summer. Norwich City have won 3-1. They've beaten Luton Town. They were pretty comfortable in the first half. Tricky one this, because this is one of the reasons why I don't like pre-season, because in terms of encouragement and the way Norwich went about it, there were lots of positive signs. If people were wanting to get carried away, they probably could do tonight, because Norwich were pretty potent in the first half. Their third goal came on a wonderful counter from Ben Godfrey's diagonal, lovely low cross from Ben Marshall. Both those two players were very good, I thought, and a nice first time finish from Teemu Pukki. So and that kind of rounded off, that was on the stroke of half time, and rounded off an excellent first half. Luton weren't quite the stiff challenge I was perhaps expecting. I believe that it wasn't really their first choice 11. There were quite a few first teamers who didn't feature at all. They didn't make many changes either, so take that with a pinch of salt. They did get better as the half wore on, or in fact as the game wore on, and it was only one sloppy period really in the second half, instigated initially by Christoph Zimmermann coming out of with possession and being robbed, and Luton should have taken the lead there. In the end, it came a few moments later. Tim Krul making his first appearance, parrying with a decent save, but the rebound went in by Gambin, and pretty sloppy, really. Norwich have only kept one clean sheet, I think, this pre-season, which was in a behind closed doors game against Crawley. So that's going to be slightly disappointing. But in truth, Norwich never really were too troubled in this game, and in terms of the action on the pitch, as I said, there was a real fluidity. They played a sort of a 4-4-1-1, I guess. We got the first sight of Emi Buendia, who played on the right, quite keen to cut inside. Hasn't had much game time, and kind of I'll be honest, I was expecting him to look a little bit more sluggish and have a few more issues. If that's him after only a little bit of training and in a meaningless game, then I'd be quite excited about what he can deliver if he gets up to speed. Some lovely touches, real quality on the ball, managed to work himself some time. Clearly, I don't think at any point really Luton, who were a League One side promoted last year, were really pressing. So as again said, I don't like pre-season. We can't read so much into it, but there's certainly encouragement there from what we might see from Buendia. Good as well from Ben Marshall going forwards. A lot of impact from him tonight, which is very good to see. Him being tested defensively is what will really assess how much of a role he can play at right back this season. We saw Grant Hanley. He played the first 45, just like Buendia, a first appearance of pre-season, and Grant was Grant. He wore the captain's armband. I don't think we saw an armband in the second half, so it was solely Grant's tonight. The first goal, I think, was a pen. I'm trying to remember now. No, I think Hanley scored the first goal from a corner that wasn't really cleared, and then the second goal, that was on 9 minutes. Second came on 13 when Marshall was fouled on the edge of the area. Referee gave a penalty. It was a tight call, and Jordan Rhodes slotted home the penalty, which is where we come to our main troubling points. And we of course have this every pre-season. There's always an injury scare. You just hope that there's only one as opposed to several. Teemu Pukki went off later after a nasty tackle. There's a bit of blood there, and they're hoping it's not too bad, but it did sort of undermine him going off. Jordan Rhodes, however, 20 odd minutes, block tackle he went in for, seems to have done some sort of ankle ligament damage, inside ligament. Sounds like it's swollen. They're going to have a scan tomorrow. Player and physio hoping it's not too bad, but of course you never know. Keep those fingers crossed. We don't really want him to have any kind of lengthy or even weeks out, really. It'd be nice if it was not too bad. Of course, ligament damage and a swollen ankle does make you think it is going to be at least a couple of weeks before something like that settles down, and at this point that would make him unlikely to feature in the first game of the season, which would of course be a big blow, especially as we didn't see Nelson Oliveira tonight. I'm sure the aim is still to sell him, and Norwich are therefore relying on the other striker options that they've got. Tim Closer was the other player who didn't feature tonight that we may be expected to, because Jamal, Evo, they're back in training out at City but not ready. He was just rested. Todd Cantwell did okay, kind of got better as the game wore on. I imagine his start was certainly for the benefit of the watching scouts in the stands tonight. I still envisage him being loaned out, I think, given the competition in City's midfield. And again, Max Aarons playing at left back looked very comfortable. He's such a solid citizen for his age and lack of game time. He's making a real case just to be a part of the group, which is phenomenal, really, given the path he's taken and his age. So well done, Max Aarons. Keep that up. Special word for Ben Godfrey, though, who I think We saw Sean Raggett loaned out to Rotherham for the season. Championship challenge for him, great. That move has really been precipitated because Ben Godfrey is in pre-season has clearly shown Daniel Farke he can play at centre-back. Something I was not particularly looking forward to. I want Ben to establish himself as a holding midfielder, and he hasn't been able to do that in pre-season, but he was very good tonight. And he still made mistakes, but he just looked confident. He won a couple of strong headers. Positionally, he was decent. Distribution was very good, and looked to me a player that he'd had a word in his ear. Ben, I trust you, saying, Daniel, you've got 2 positions here. You're going to be part of the group. Stay here. Be involved. Thank you. And he showed that he feels confident in that, and that's good, because I think Ben could be a real asset for Norwich, and Grant Hadley said as much when I spoke to him after the game. So there you go, lots of positives from a challenge that maybe wasn't quite as much as I was hoping for, but enough. I haven't even mentioned Tim Krul, who is steady, made a couple of decent saves, and you can just see that his presence as an experienced keeper probably helps Ben Godfrey as well as the others in terms of what they've got behind him. So more than enough positive to keep us going before we have the final pre-season friendly at Charlton on Saturday. We will of course see you there for all the build-up, analysis, reaction and talking points, as well as live coverage. PinkUn.com.